draw some self-portraits. Here is my example of my self-portrait. What you're gonna need is a fresh piece of paper, pencil, eraser, sharpener, some colored pencils if you want, or you could use some crayons, markers, watercolor, whatever you want to use to add some color at the end of our self-portrait. Or if you just wanted to use pencil and just focus on maybe some shading, you could do that as well. So we're first going to start off by using our pencil, and I always like to have an extra eraser, like a bigger eraser for, you know, some big mistakes. Also, these erasers tend to kind of wear off. So when looking at a head shape, I feel that the closest shape is really an oval. But it's not just like an oval shape, it's more of almost like the shape of an egg. Like an upside down egg, where the more rounded part is at the top of the head, and then it gets a little bit more narrow at the bottom. So right in the middle of your paper, you're going to draw an egg shape. Upside down egg shape. So don't worry if it's not perfect. It's alright, we're just practicing, and we're just going to be trying to make a basic self-portrait. You know, we'll add some details, but we're just learning right now. We're just kind of learning the basic steps, so don't feel like you need to have a very perfect self-portrait when you're done. Erase away any lines that you're not really interested in using. Next, what I want to do is I want to find the middle of my head shape. So you're just going to guess with your fingers. I like to kind of use my fingers as measurement, or maybe if you have a ruler on hand. So about 8 inches long, so kind of around where the 4 marker would be, or if you just want to kind of guess with your fingers. Just draw a light line for the middle. So where this middle line is where your eyes are going to be placed. And I know that kind of sounds weird. You know, the eyes kind of seem more towards the top of the head. But when we see the top of the head, we're not just talking about the top of the forehead. We're actually talking about the top of your head, so like where your hair is. So really your eyes are really closer to the middle of that head shape. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave a little mark right here. This is going to be for the very middle of your head. That way we know that over here on this side, right in the middle, we're going to draw an oval for the left eye and an oval over here for the right eye. Actually, right attached to this middle line, we're going to draw a triangle. You don't want that triangle to reach, you know, too far down. You want your triangle to just kind of reach a little above the halfway point right here. So just kind of right here, just a small triangle for your nose. If you're looking at a mirror or you're using your laptop or computer to see your image, you're just kind of, you know, kind of see how big your nose is, and that's how big you want to make that triangle. right around here, we're going to draw a longer, skinnier oval for the mouth, just as a placement for the mouth. We're going to go back up to the eyes. So right next to the eyes, we're going to start designing where the ears are going to go. So I kind of think of the ears as almost like a peanut looking shape, where you have the curve up here and then another curve at the bottom. So again, we all have different shaped ears. So you're going to have to look in your mirror or look in your camera to figure out what kind of ear shape you have, but I kind of generally like to think of like a peanut shape. We're going to go back into the eyes to draw a circle for our iris. You want to try to make sure that your eyes are nice and centered in the oval. That means they're right in the center of your oval. It's a good rule of thumb that if you actually look at your pupils, that center of your eye, and you go down the page, that's about around where your neck is going to be. So I'm going to do that for both of my eyes. The pupil, I'm going to go down to my chin, start making some lines for my neck. So now we're going to start designing a little bit of the body. Think of this as like a school photo. So in a self-portrait, a lot of times, you don't always have the whole body. A lot of times you just have the face, the neck, and then maybe a little bit of the shoulder area. So I'm going to draw a little curve here for that neckline, for whatever shirt I'm wearing. Then I'm going to make some curves to go to the edge of my paper. So this is a really great start for any self-portrait. You have everything placed where they're going to be. We still have a lot of detail to add, more detail to all of our facial features, and of course our hair. And of course, if you want to design something for your shirt. But this is a really great way to start. If anybody is working on a self-portrait or really needs, advice or help, this is a really great starting point. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my facial features for the details. And the eyes right here kind of goes into like a little bit of a point. So I'm going to draw a little bit of a point here for the eyes. You might want to add a little bit of eyelashes. And then, of course, some eyebrows. So everyone's eyebrows are a little different. So you're going to have to look at your mirror, or maybe if you're using a computer camera. My eyebrows are very similar to almost like a caterpillar shape. Your eyebrows might be a little skinnier, a little thicker. Now I'm going to work on the nose. On that diagonal part of the triangle, I'm going to draw some curves. And this is called the bridge of the nose. And then on the corners of where the triangle is right here, I'm going to start designing some curves for the nostrils. And then I have a curve right here for the point of my nose. It's hard to see the nostril holes completely, especially when you're looking at a face that's like looking directly at you. But right here where the nostril curves meet the point of the nose curve, I'm going to draw a little circle for the nostril holes. So now I have this skinny oval down here, and I'm going to start designing my lips. So everyone's lips are a little different too. Generally speaking, our lips have a little bit of a V shape right here, so I'm going to draw a little V. And then a left curve over here, and a right curve over here. Then I'm going to draw my bottom lip with a big curve. And I'm going to give myself a little smile. A lot of times the top lip is smaller than the bottom lip, but it also depends. So you're also going to have to look and just kind of see what kind of shape your lips are. Or maybe you want your mouth to be a little open, or if you want it to be a more serious looking expression. This is where you can really, give your self-portrait a lot of unique characteristics by, the way you design your eyes and the way you design your mouth. They show a lot of expression. I'm just going to make them a little skinnier. That's why it's always good to have an eraser. I'm going to draw a little curve right here for my chin. And down here I'm just going to make it a little straighter because my chin isn't as pointy as I first drew it. So I'm going to just make it a little straighter at the bottom. Alright. Now I'm going to start to design the inside of my ears by drawing the curves up here by my cartilage. Some curves down here by my earlobe. And then this little curve right here called the tragus. Alright. I happen to have some earrings, so if you want to decorate your ears with some earrings, if you happen to have some earrings. If you want to, change anything, you can always change some things here and there. So the next thing that I'm going to do is design my hair. So everyone's hair is a little different, but we all have a hairline, which is where our hair touches our forehead. So I have very, very short hair, but I can still see my hairline right here. So sometimes your hairline might go a little further down your forehead, sometimes it might go a little further up. And then we can also see the sides of our hairline. And they usually go all the way down to our ear. That's why it's good to leave a lot of space up here for your hair. That's why we put our eyes in the middle, because we need all that space up here for our hair. So you might have longer hair, you might have, shorter hair. If you have, some longer hair, you might want to draw some curves that go down here. If it's kind of in the middle, you might not want those long hairs to go down to your shoulders. You might want them to maybe end here. Or if you want to give your hair a little bit of style, let's say maybe a ponytail or pigtails. Oftentimes when you have your hair tied up like that, your hair looks similar to this hairline, but then you can show a little bit of the hair, like the ponytail, sticking out. There's one example. So there's lots of different ways to design your hair. At this point, I'm very happy with the way my face is designed. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start to add some color and maybe fix up any details that I want to fix. Notice how I'm just using a little feathering technique where I just create little lines for my eyebrows, because that's what your eyebrows are, just little hairs. So, keep practicing. If this is your first time doing a self-portrait, or if you haven't had that much experience, the first time you do it, you might not be super happy with it, or maybe you might be. And what you're going to do is you're just going to keep improving. So, this is, I've done 100 of these self-portraits, and every time they come out a little different. Every time I change it up a little bit, I learn some things here and there. So, when you guys are, working on your self-portraits, don't feel discouraged if you can't get the nose right, or the eyes, or the mouth. Just keep on practicing. Alright guys, see you next time.